How are you, sir?
Yeah, how you guys doing today?
We're doing very well. I anticipate we're going to have quite a number of people in the chat. Bill, we've all just watched the premiere, the video where you and I had that discussion earlier today about the rules, or it might have been yesterday for yourself. Actually, it's still today for me, but it was yesterday for you. But we've all just watched that premiere, and we had some like 400 people in there. A lot of comments. I anticipate a lot of people are going to have questions. So, guys, the purpose of this live is for you to ask us questions, ask Bill questions. I'll certainly take a back seat in this, and we'll let Bill take charge of answering the questions. So please do feel free to send through the questions. The reason we did the premiere to everyone on YouTube was to give a chance for Bill to just kind of lay it out as it is. Without the interruptions of all the questions. But knowing how big this match is, knowing how important it is, knowing what is on the line in terms of legacy, in terms of just, in terms of a lot, there's a lot on the line here, without a doubt. So it's important that we gave Bill that opportunity to set the record straight. And so guys, if you have questions, if you super chat questions, we will certainly answer all of them. I will do my best to read any questions that come flying in. But Bill, for everybody, how are you feeling right about now? Is the pressure building up yet?
Well, I was okay until after I talked to you yesterday. I thought, shit, what the hell happened to me? I'm going in this thing with not caring as far as, the nerves that may be catching up. But after I talked to you, I'm like, holy shit, this is countdown. So, yeah, it's starting to get a little scary, and I think the scary part is making sure nobody gets screwed out of the match, making sure you make the right calls. The rules are a little different. So, as I mentioned, as a professional referee, we're programmed to make a call when we see it. These particular rules, you make a call when you see it, but this time you don't stop the match with the running fouls and stuff. So it can get a little complex and a little confusing, not only for me as the referee, but as the viewer for the spectators.
Yeah.
But all in all, I'm still going in with confidence, looking at it as the match itself, not Lavonne and Devin going at it. And I have to keep my focus that way because the hype and everything that's going on right now, shit, it could really screw the person's head if they let it.
Yeah, absolutely. It is the biggest match in history. It's in the respect of having more eyes on any one moment. This is it. This definitely is it. There's definitely more people watching than ever before. So there is that pressure for sure. And I feel for you. Bill, we've had a question from Chuggington. He says, "Hi, Bill. You are great. Who will be the other ref, the down ref?"
Repeat that again, Ryan. As
Sure.
I apologize to the spectators, but I'm half deaf. I wear hearing aids. I can't hear very well, which kind of
Well,
makes
good.
it good for me on the table because I can't hear all the bitching.
For sure, Bill. You may be able to see you might be able to see the question on the screen as well. I don't know if you can read it there. I've brought it up there, but it reads, "Who will be your down ref?"
Who will be the what?
The down ref.
Oh, Serge, same guy that was there from KOT1 the very beginning. Sergio.
Okay. And what's his experience level?
Um, his experience level is what we taught him from KOT1, 2, and 3.
Okay,
So,
so yeah. Wow, what a pressure.
I know where
Unreal.
this is going. I know, and I tell you, with the match at this magnitude, it's best to have two highly skilled referees on this thing. As Serge, he does a good job with what he's got to work with, you might say. So there's going to be, when we have the little referee meeting between him and I, there's going to be certain things I'm going to really want him to dial in on, be a bit more engaged. Serge is programmed to just kind of stay in the background, so we could see the match. We don't want to have to look through the back of your head. But you know, it's a lot of angle placement for the cameras as well to be able to catch the match and him do his job to the fullest.
Mm.
So we've got some challenges there that we're going to have to work through, and we've got a couple of good ideas how to make it more visible for him so he's more engaged with it.
Mm.
So,
Do you-
but you know, that's what I got to work with. So I got to do the best I can with it.
Oh, good. Bill, does King of the Table have instant replayability for this event at all? In the refereeing sense, do you have the ability to double check a call or something like that?
Yeah, you know, we're setting up, and that was another thing because you know, one of the things that I wouldn't mind seeing is a additional video referee, you know, for callbacks. You know, kind of make this thing like an NFL. You know, this, you know, KOT is at the level where, you know, we're getting the highest level arm wrestlers there. They're getting probably some of the biggest payouts they've seen. It only makes sense to be able to do some playback action. That's one of the things that myself and Serge and the technical team's going to talk about when I get up there is, you know, maybe do some play-by-play actions as far as not so much play-by-play, but play-back actions if there's any doubt from any one of the referees on the call.
Yeah, well, that would be outstanding. I think, as you say, for a match this significant, and as you touched on you at the beginning, you don't ultimately we don't want to make an incorrect call at any point in any sport. All sports are trying to make the right calls as per the rules, and it is difficult at times. So if we have that technology, that's fantastic, and it's good to hear that it will be used if possible. We got
Yeah,
we got a
exactly.
super chat in from Sap the B. He says, "Hey Bill, if and when Devin tries to move in the referee's or set grip like he did against John, will you foul him or will you let him keep doing that?"
Oh man, you know how many times I got beat up on that one, and that's a very valid question. And you know, I'm going to be more firm this time. You know, again, with the rules, they're a little ambiguous for the simple fact that we want to see the match have a tail into the story.
Mm,
Um, so what I anticipate um, going into this thing is Devin to probably try the same thing that he did with John. Now, on the flip side, is Devin violating the rules? Getting that strap on? He's not, you know, and that's one of the things that Devin's an expert at is playing the rules. But
mm.
when we get into the set grip, it's going to be treated such as a WAF set grip.
Okay.
Um, and what happens, and you know, the way I look at it on the set grip, I'm okay with a little bit of move. I'm not really hard as rigid as the WAF. But one thing that we're going to try to eliminate is any load backing. So when they grab the hand, they can't be loading back. I don't care how hard they squeeze the hand, but we're going to try to eliminate a lot of that movement. So
Mm,
if I do my job right, I should be able to stop it with giving them a warning or a foul. Now, when I
okay.
say a warning, it's just a courtesy call. There in the KOT, we don't have warnings that count towards fouls because a lot of the other organizations, you get 2 warnings, you got a foul. This is just more of a courtesy, just to be able to control the match a little better.
hmm So to clarify what happened with the when you talked about Devin and John and Devin utilizing the rules there. So correct me if I'm wrong, but during strap application, what Devin was doing was he was gaining webbing height during strap application, and that was permissible within the rules. But as long as it was level at go, then that's all. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. There's nothing written. There's not, and we got some gaps in the rules. You know, but the whole objective on that thing is you're correct. It doesn't say anything about the webbing being level. Well, that's best practice, and that's probably the fairest way to go. Um, and you know, one thing that you know I was able to get in the rules going forward is if it's not written in the rules, it's going to be interpreted with the world standard rules. Now, the world
Hmm
standard rules is a bit more stringent than the KOT rules, but You know, it allows me to be able to interpret the rules where I can get that webbing level. So going forward, objectively, before we get the strap on, I'm going to want the webbings level in the center of the table. That's probably going to be a challenge, but if they don't participate, I'll give them a warning before they get a foul. So I need to be able to calm that match down a little bit for that to happen, because their adrenaline's going to be pumping so freaking much that, you know, I just got to be able to manage it a little bit tighter.
Yeah.
I'll be the first. I'll be the first one, but I'll own anything that I do on the table. Um, John and Devin's match, that first match out of all the KOT matches that we did, that first match is probably the one that's bugging me the most with
Yep.
John and Devin, for the simple fact that you know, if you look at how the rules are written, you know, Devin didn't do nothing wrong. But if we look at how the rules are going to be applied going forward, I should be able to control what happens as far as the webbing, just to get the strap on to make it fair, for both people, pullers.
Now I know that about a month ago, Bill, there was a lot of drama to do with the contracts and the signing of the contracts and under what rules were the signings. And as you've mentioned, Devin has insisted that it goes back to the rule sets that were the precedent for when he signed. Part of that precedent back then was, I guess, the looseness that we just described, that 5 minutes that happened with John. Are you anticipating Devin to expect that level of freedom again?
Well, you know, it's okay what he expects, but it's not going to happen like it did with John. You know, and
Yep.
you know the two differences between John and Devin. You know, John, he gets up there, he just wants to arm wrestle and win the match. He don't care about the rules. On
Hmm.
the other hand, Devin, you know, he fully understands and fully engages the rules and uses it to his advantage. Um,
Yep.
that's the difference between the two on that particular match. You know, Devin came in well prepared on what he can and cannot get away with, where John was a little confused on the specific rules, for the simple fact he's arm wrestled all these years and is used to a set of rules. Um, so again, you know, just by having the interpretation of the head referee, I think that's going to help solidify some of the stuff that you might have seen on that last match.
For sure. Bill, I'm not. You might remember this quote. I'm not sure if it was you or a different referee, but when I years and years and years ago, I remember watching a video, and I have a feeling it was in the UAL, which was your league, of course. And I remember an athlete was whinging about getting a grip. They couldn't get a grip. They couldn't take a grip, and I feel like it was you that said, this person complained to you and said he won't let me get a fair grip, and you said to him, "Well, you're probably going to lose then." And it was because the other guy was sent. His wrist was straight. He was good, and one guy just wouldn't take a grip, and he wanted the referee to give him the grip, and you were like, "Well, you got to take a grip. You probably." And I loved it at the time, because what it highlights for me is, and it begs the question: when does the match start? I know we talked about this before. I'd love to go there again. When does the match start? Is fighting for a grip? Are you obliged as an athlete to give your opponent a fair grip, or are you allowed to actually take it and say, "No, I've got it. You can't have it back"? Where does it sit in that respect?
Well, let's start from the beginning, because there's a couple folds in
Yeah.
your comment. There is, man, if I've told the arm wrestler it looks like you're gonna lose, I need to be kicked in the nuts, because that's usually not part of my vocabulary. Um, but it is up to the competitor to get their grip. It's up to the referee to make sure that their grip is fair, just for the simple fact that some people grip high, some people grip low. The referee is not going to tell them to grip high or low. Our big concern is, can we see that line on the top of the thumb knuckle, and are they center from peg to peg and center from arm wrestler to arm wrestle. Now, you know, when we start looking at the rules, we got some really rigid rules. You know, UAL uses the WAF rules with the exception of the starts. And the KOT uses their own rules that we design for the special super matches. But again, it's going to be up to the referee to make sure the grip is fair on the start. And when I say fair on the start, again, the concentration's on the top thumb knuckle, knuckles level, center to center from peg to peg, center to center from arm wrestler to arm wrestler. It's going to be up to the arm wrestler to be able to place his hand where he wants to make that match be fair.
Roger. Uncle John's Arm Wrestling Show is coming with a super chat, $6.99 Canadian dollars. He says, Bill, is there a paper copy of the official King of the Table rules? And if so, is it accessible to the public? Good luck, Bill. Keep them in line.
Yeah, you know what? I agree. Right now, and you know, so let's back up on the rules. So there's a little committee on the rules. I can make suggestion recommendation. It's not my final ruling on what the rules going to be. It's the KOT. So the committee looks at the rules. And I'll be honest with you, right now we're trying to, I say we, the committee is looking at what is the best possible set of rules that we could keep using moving forward that's going to try to make everybody happy. Because we've got a lot of pullers that write in and say, oh no, we want to, you guys should keep it on the set grip where a strap is applied before the match is started. Then we got some that say, no, you guys should do the WAF style where the strap is earned. So there's two, you know, how do you come up with something to make both groups happy? So once everything is solidified, because it's not. I mean, you know, we looked at the KOT 1 and 2 set of rules. Then, you know, I was able to get some of the rules changed in the KOT 3. And, you know, then this came back at me, well, what are we going to do? You know, what set are we going to be using for KOT 4? Now, it's not up to me. I just proctor what they give me. But you know, the second full of that question is you mentioned Devin and the contracts. So I do know that when Devin accepted that match with Lavonne, it was expressed that we'd be using the KOT 1 rules. Okay, that was set before Devin even agreed. Now, from what I understand, and I was a part of the conversation, but when it was posed to Lavonne to accept the match with Devin, Lavonne said, I don't give a shit what set of rules we use. I just want to rip Devin's arm off. So it looks like for their match, it's going to be the KOT 1 rules. And the rules from KOT 1 to the KOT 3, it was the only thing different was the set grip and the running foul. Now, again, the set grip for the KOT 1 was basically elbow in the pocket, strap on, close your thumbs, close your hands, go. Everything else remained the same. KOT 3, if you can't get your grip, we're going to get a referee's grip, WAF style, and the only way the strap is applied is if you both agree or as if you slip out. So them are the two difference between the set of rules that we got floating around right now. So I know they're trying to accommodate, you know, everybody's request. It's just it's a challenge trying to get them both accommodated to satisfy everyone, you might say.
Okay, so
and then again, going forward.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
going
forward, we talked about this because, you know, again, the KOT 2, you know, I tried to change a couple of things. It wasn't warranted for the simple fact, you know, some betting and shit was going on, whatever the case might be. But like I say, the rules itself is mainly the grip. That's what may be different from the one to the other.
Okay, so for this one, King of the Table 1 rules. You're in the strap after the auto strap rules come into play after a certain amount of time, and it's close your thumbs, close your hands, go. if they haven't negotiated a grip.
Exactly.
Righto. Okay. No worries. And just to touch on Uncle John's question one more time, is there a paper copy of the official rules? And is it anywhere out there? No.
Sorry, John. I you caught me deviating away from that. There is a written set, but it's not going to be up to me to expose them. It'll be coming from KOT, and I'm sure it is. The written rules are given to the arm wrestlers while they're there. We've got a stack of written rules. We go over them on the rule briefing. It just hasn't been put on a website or whatnot to be exposed. But you could expect them to be, because we're trying to be transparent, and it's best to be transparent so everybody could try to understand what I'm trying to referee. This way I don't get tarred and feathered.
You have the hardest refereeing job in the history of refereeing right now. Next weekend, I don't think there's been a harder job than what you're about to do. So we all take our hat off to you, Bill. But hey, we have another super chat come in from Pab Naffle. He's $4.99. He says, "Hey Bill, how about pushing the elbow forward before the go? Devin took a lot of liberty in doing that in last King of the Table. Will you call Devin out on that? On the sliding forward of the elbow?"
Yeah, repeat that for me, Ryan, so I fully understood that.
Sure. How about pushing the elbow forward before the go? Devin took a lot of liberty in doing that in the last King of the Table. Will you call Devin out on that?
So,
slid forward just before the go. He would do that, slide his elbow forward just as the start was happening.
Oh, gotcha. So it's almost like a running start we're talking about. So, so let's look at it this way. Look at the WAF setup. Okay, there's no moving in the rest grip. The set grip, like the KOT one, again, they're a little ambiguous. There's a little moving around, but what we're looking at the KOT for is being a bit more firm on the movement. So if we're looking at, let's say Devin's gripping up and he moves his elbow forward just to get a running start and gains any kind of positioning on the movement, yeah, he'll be getting fouled out, or not fouled out. He'll get a foul over that.
Okay, you've heard it here, guys. Jay Farrell comes in with a super chat, $4.99. He says, "What are you and Bill's opinion on this question? Is this the biggest arm wrestling match of all time? Even going back to the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s and beyond." You've been in the sport a long time, Bill. In your opinion, is this the biggest arm wrestling match of all time?
In my opinion, I believe it is. With the exception of the Over the Top with John Berzink and I think it was Ed Arnold for Over the Top for first place. That was back in 86, 87. But besides that match, yeah, I would probably put this match as probably the highest profiled match in arm wrestling history.
Yeah, I agree with you to that as well, Jay Farrell. To give you my answer, it's in terms of the attention that this match is garnering, absolutely. Yes, I think there's more eyes on this match than anywhere else. I do think there have been some other amazingly big matches in the history of the sport. When Brzezinski pulled Saplenkov, the Nemerov, that stopped the arm wrestling world without a doubt. Didn't have the same sort of coverage as this one, and that's probably the key difference. As Bill mentioned, 1987, the over the top, due to the movie and what that was a huge moment for sure in terms of the marketing and the viewership, massive. But this one's kind of got the perfect combination of it being two brutal arm wrestlers, Lavonne as the conqueror that he is, Devin as where he sits, plus the marketing side of things. It truly is absolutely massive. So thank you for that super chat. All right. Okay, looking just through, we're going to have a quick look through the comments here to see if we can find the next question. Let's have a look. Okay, a few people want to know about the running foul situation. Can you clarify, Bill, for us how the running foul will be interpreted in respect to both, in particular, in respect to the King's move?
So we talked about run. I heard you say running foul and king's
Yeah,
move. So are
yeah.
you talking about the running foul and king's move?
Well, yeah. How will those two things blend together with the elbows being a running foul and in the king's move? Um, where's the line between losing position foul versus, I don't know, giving Devin time to get back on the pad if he's off the back of the pad? Is it a running foul or is it a loss? How is that being interpreted?
Yeah, so let's look at the running foul itself, and then just fouls in general. That might be easier to understand. The running foul is basically a foul where you couldn't see any position gained, so to speak. In other words, a small little elbow hop, um, a little bobble. You know, Ingham calls them micro fouls. We just call them running fouls because I don't know what the hell a micro foul is, because it could be, you know, an eighth of an inch and it could be half an inch. I don't know. And shit's happening so fast on the table. So what we look at is a small elbow hop. That's a running foul. You got something significant. That's for complicity's sakes, I'll say a major foul. So you got a running foul and a major foul. Small little elbow hops, running foul, which are counted. They're all counted. Anything where like the elbow comes off the back or whatnot, that would be considered a fixed foul. That'd be a fixed foul. Any fixed fouls stop the match and restart. Now, one of the things that we're trying to eliminate is, let's say you and I are arm wrestling and you're winning me, and I create an intentional foul just to be able to stop the match for a restart. It's not going to be it's going to be a win on your side if you pin me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so you know, the runners and the fix are totally different. Now, when we start talking the king's move, let's say someone drops down into the king's move where the humerus is in declining position. That is a fixed foul. Okay, if it's in a neutral position, they'll get a restart. If it's on the losing side of the table, it's 2/3 of the way down, it's a loss of the match. That
Okay.
kind of help a little.
Yeah, that should clarify it for everyone. That's
Yeah,
pretty clear.
you know, the damn running foul is kind of complex in this, you know, and it's hard to understand for a normal person, let alone a spectator that doesn't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And twice as hard for a damn referee, because you know you got to be able to count what's going on. And this is where my downside really has to be engaged, is help keep these fouls counted, because there's so
Yep.
much shit going on the table that you know it's possible I could lose track of it.
Yeah, for sure. Bill, what sort of fouls result in a restart of the match? Um, you mentioned a couple of fouls there that are just losses, i.e., in the bottom 2/3, or substantially gaining position, calling a major foul. When can we expect a match to actually just say stop? We're restarting again.
Yeah, so what might be easier to understand that is look at how the world standards WAF rules are. Um, when they get a foul, any foul, they stop the match. Okay. What we're doing is the same thing should apply. When any foul happens, we'll stop the match with the exception of a runner. And again, a runner is just small little, tiny, significant air pockets or air gaps, or maybe the tip of the elbow comes off the side of the pocket a little bit and doesn't gain any position. Um, you know, but if there's something significant where something has changed, whether the hand, the arm, or the body positioning, that would be considered a fixed foul. That's probably the hardest thing to be able to identify, is what moved or what position changed when we did get that fixed foul. Does that make sense? So looking at, again, a running foul, small little tiny infractions. A fixed foul, look at how WAF does it. That might help
Okay.
understand that a little bit.
Okay. All all I'm imagining at the moment, like you said, it's complex. It's hard enough for an experienced referee to execute on, let alone the fans watching it, and also the athletes. I'm given the significance of this match, I'm seeing arguments happening. How are you, are you expecting arguments, and how much will you tolerate from either athlete if they're whether look? I can see Devin in your face, and I can see Lavonne saying, "I'll friggin' walk off unless this is enforced." Um, like, what are you expecting?
Oh man, I know shit. It's gonna happen, and I think in my case, I don't know. I don't very rarely I get pissed off as ref in any match. So I could take a lot of screaming and ass chewing on the ref and not lose my composure.
Hmm.
But if it gets too out of hand, I'm just gonna give them a little courtesy warning. Hey, next one's gonna be a foul if you don't listen. So but you know what, Ryan, to be honest with you, that's what the spectators need. They need to see the drama. They need to see the story and the tell into the story. And
Mm.
that's that builds that drama. So I'm okay with it. They want to get in my face. You could probably see my reactions if in the past if someone does. I just okay. I hear you, and I'll just keep on plugging along.
Yeah, it's that part of it is like I feel the anxiety on your behalf, and I'm sure we all do too. Thinking, oh man, these two giants are going to be they're very polarizing, and they're coming with the background of the arguments they've had over the contracts and all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of tension there, disrespect
Oh,
from cultural perspectives. Are you prepared for genuine conflict between them? I don't know, like have you had to deal with verbal conflict or like conflict that goes outside of the table? If there's genuine issue between them, how do you handle that?
yeah. Well, I think the main thing would be able to control and contain it. Um, and that could be done in a couple different ways. If you see, I don't know, personally, I got two bulls going at this thing for this particular match, and if something gets out of hand where they're screaming and yelling, I, I'll sit back for a little bit. But if it looks like it's starting to get out of hand, I'll most likely pull one of them off to the side just to try to
Mm.
defuse anything that might be happening. Um,
Mhm.
but you can expect it. I expect them two guys to be in each other's face, um, you know, talking shit to each other. I expect Devin to be Devin. I expect Devin to be Devin. Um,
Do you,
Now, if the whole idea is trying to control that damn match, and to be honest, I don't have a solid answer right now.
you'll
it's
play it by
it's
ear?
I just depends on what happens is what my actions might be.
Yeah, for
But
sure. Do you
if they're
have
gonna if
anyone?
they're
Do you have
good.
anyone in your team that can speak Georgian?
I'm sure there's going to be somebody there for interpreter as far as my
Mm,
team. My team, as far as I'm concerned, is Sergio, my down ref, and the video guys on being able to do some playback.
mm,
Um, I would like to think Lavonne's going to have somebody there to interpret anything for him.
yeah,
And if there's a dispute or anything, I welcome the interpreter to be, off to the side of the table to be able to speak for Lavonne, so there's no misunderstanding.
wonderful. Yeah, yeah, because that is one of the things that I can see as a potential, like, really big issue is the fact that if Devin is chirping away, blah, 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 in your face and all this kind of stuff, Lavonne's sitting there waiting for just, let's just freaking arm wrestle, whatever. The fact that he can't understand what Devin's saying because he's rattling it off so fast, and that will cause a lot of frustrations for Lavonne, and it may boil over because of that language barrier. So, oh, it's so complicated, Bill.
Oh man. Well, I tell you, Devin's an expert on getting inside your head.
Mm,
I've seen it. I've seen it before, and I expect it. I expect it. I mean, I think the mental game is going to play just as much as importance as the strength game when these guys are arm wrestling. Um,
yeah,
so I expect Devin to try to get in Lavonne's head a little bit. I expect him to be a very, very aggressive on the grip. I expect him to be very, very aggressive with me. Um, But like I said, I'm going in this thing with a little different mindset. I'm a hell of a lot healthier than I was at the last one. Something
Mhm.
came up unexpectedly. It just kind of threw me for a loop. But like I say, my mindset's going in this thing a whole lot different. Um, Going in with more of a control on that type of the match. But when these guys start battling out each other and start getting each other's face, um, again, it just depends how bad it gets to see what kind of action I'm going to have to take to be able to try to control it. So,
Mm.
I just don't want to fall short in that area.
Yeah, well, you described it well before. You said these guys are two bulls going at it. Yeah, this is controlling these men is going to be a very very challenging task, and
Absolutely.
yeah, I know you'll do a fantastic job. You couldn't be more experienced at it. But wow, it's going to be that's going to be part of the show, like you said. Ultimately, it's part of the show is to watch. Like as a fan watching this is going to be like, oh my goodness, who's Bill going to have to rein in first? Who's going to lose it? What's it going? Oh, because it's going to happen. But anyway, we got another super chat,
Yeah.
Bill, from Red Rocket Pig. Sounds like an RVJ inspired username there. 6.99 Canadian. Thank you, brother. He says, huge fan of yours, Bill. Best referee, in my opinion. Who is your top two people that you regard as the most technical in setups?
So repeat that last part. By the way, I appreciate that comment, man. It's always welcome to hear stuff like that. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
So repeat that last part of that question, Ryan, so I could fully understand that.
sure thing. The last part of the question was, who is your top two people that you regard as the most technical in arm wrestling setups?
Who are just so I understand, you're saying who is the most technical for arm
Yeah,
wrestling setups?
yeah, I guess of all the people you've set up in arm wrestling before, who looks for the technical stuff and who just says, let's go? Who's the most technical?
Um, as far as the setup, I mean, there's a difference between the setups and the pool. Most technical on the setup is the person that understands and gets away with every gap in that rule, and that would be Devin. As far as I'm concerned, that's just my personal opinion. He's very technical. He knows where to put the hand, and when he puts the hand, there's a specific reason why he's doing that.
Mm,
Um, when you start looking at technical on the table, I got to revert, back to John. That guy could do some crazy stuff on the table. So his grip isn't, as far as I'm concerned, technical. He's an easy man to set up. He goes in there and grips up. Referee's happy. We can start the match.
mm.
Devin, with his experience, he uses his technicality on that specific grip. So when I start looking at who's the hardest, who's the most technical on the grip and the setup, I would have to give it to Devin, no doubt.
Sure. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you from the observer's perspective. He's always looking for everything. He's like a
Yeah.
lawyer, isn't he? He gets up there and he knows the rules and
Yeah, yeah, but you
he'll
know what?
argue.
He's a smart man on the table. We can't take that away from him. And he knows every angle whenever he puts his hand down. He's pretty table savvy. There ain't no doubt about that.
Absolutely. Hey, Bill, we got another super chat come in from Sebastian Simpera. Thank you, Sebastian. He says, Bill is the best referee. Don't be afraid to tell Devin to shut up and pull.
Oh man, I love you, dude. Um, and I try to treat the athletes professional when they're on the table, even though they're getting in my face and chewing my ass or whatnot. But again, I think the whole concept with the rules is we want to see the match. We don't want to see the matches end on fouls, but
Mm,
what I will do is I'm gonna be flexible. So if I can't control the grip or if I can't control the start, um, I'm just gonna give them some courtesy warnings. And when I say courtesy warnings, when people hear a warning, they think, "Oh shit, that's too warning." No, it's just a
mm,
courtesy from the referee to the arm wrestler. Say, calm your shit down, because the next time I talk to you about it, it's going to be a foul. So that's the only way it's going to have to be, really, because again, I have no idea what the hell is going to happen on the table. You know, Lavonne's a pretty, as far as I could see from Lavonne, freaking dude's a monster, but he's pretty mild mannered on the setup. Now, and I don't watch videos on arm wrestlers. I don't see how they pull. I don't see, you know, how they try to get creative. Only thing I see is how they set up and how they arm wrestle. And I think where Lavonne's probably going to get fired up is when Devin starts pulling all his tricks out of the bag, and we may see a different side of Lavonne that I don't think either one of us is seeing. It. You know, both of them guys are the guys where, you know, it's that concept: don't grab a hold of something you can't let go of.
Yeah. I hear you. I've had the pleasure of spending some time with Lavonne in an airport in Munich, and he was like a gentle giant. He was a teddy bear. He was really mild mannered, caring, gentle soul, and yeah, lovely dude. But yes, I think Devin's ability to push the buttons are going to be very very effective.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
And we didn't.
Yeah.
Sorry, you go.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, I think the buttons are going to be pushed. I think they're going to be pushed to a level that he's never been pushed before. And, man, I just, it's how he deals with it and how he handles it when the buttons are being pushed. Because, like I say, you got the mental aspect of this match, and you got the pulling aspect of this match. And if you could conquer one over the other's going to come easy for you.
Absolutely. Hey, that leads nicely into the next question we've got. We've got a super chat in from Karaoke Vic. Thank you very much. $20 US. He says, great interview, Ryan. Bill is such a great ref, and it's good to hear his opinion. What would you do, Bill, if Devin and Lavonne got into a fist fight?
Repeat that one more again. Repeat that again for me, Ryan.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, like I said, I apologize for this because I can't hear worth the shit. So that's
I have a terrible accent.
That's part of my vocabulary, you know.
I have a terrible accent, Bill. It's all good. Ron Bath can't understand me either. So the question was, Bill, what would you do if Devin and Lavonne got into a fist fight?
Oh, fuck. I'd make sure I stay the hell out of the swinging. No, as a referee, no, that's a damn good question that I never even encountered. But as a referee, would I try to defuse it before it happened? Absolutely. That's going to be the key. Before it gets to that point, it needs to be recognized, and it needs to be handled correctly. Now let's say it isn't handled correctly and it does start getting into the fist fight. The last KOTs that I've been to, there's guys there that are as big as Lavonne that I hope has my back to help out. And,
well, you got Kadetcher and Marcio and all those guys. They'll be there.
And this is where Larry Will comes into play.
Yeah, exactly. There'll be plenty of muscle.
Give him that ugly stink eye, and hopefully he'll jump all other guys' back while it takes 6 others to pull the others off. But you know, be honest with you, I don't anticipate them to fist fight for the simple fact that there is something in the rules about unsportsmanship conduct and some other stuff that we were able to get in there. So, you know, when I say the unsportsmanship conduct, you know, you got to expect the tension and the animosity between them to just be burning in each other's face. So, you know, I expect that to come out of them. But like I say, for them to start throwing blows, if I even had to take one, I would most likely get in between them. That's just how stupid I am on some of that shit. But I think if it's done properly, we hopefully be able to diffuse it before it gets to that point.
Yeah, I would be incredibly shocked if it did. Both these gentlemen, they're I don't know Lavonne as well, but Devin behind all this facade and this thing that he does when he's needing to win a match, he's an incredibly respectful gentleman. He really is. So I don't think for a second that it would actually get to that point. But yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta be honest. You can see it kind of happening at some point. But yeah,
Yeah. But and be honest with you, Ron, I think I really don't think they're going to want to fight each other. I think the
Mm,
words going to the words can fly. I'm expecting a little bit, but I don't think. I look at Devin because Devin's really good at playing the head game, and again, I think Devin's approach could probably be getting inside of Lavonne's head without really doing anything physical to Devon or to Lavonne.
yeah,
And I think
yeah.
Lavonne's a gentle giant. He's man enough to recognize that. But man, I don't know. I don't know what their breaking point is.
Mm,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
they start talking
It's
about each
unknown.
other's mother. I think we got a whole different
Oh,
scenario going on.
yeah. We
You know
don't
what I
go
mean?
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And we
yeah.
get a super chat in from Red Rocket Pig. He hasn't got a question for us, Bill. He's just made a call on what he thinks will happen in the match. He said, I think round one is going to be a rough, ugly King's move. I don't think Devin's pronation will hold up. I think he'll be palm up and trying to hold it on his arm. We've seen a big evolution to the King's move in recent times. Bill, I remember you famously refereed probably the ugliest double King's move match in history. Was it MacTell and who was the other guy? Can't remember.
Oh
From
my
Florida.
God, you had to bring that up, didn't you? Um, so check this out. This is what happened on that particular match that nobody even knows about. Is Mac and Tim were scheduled to do a super match. Okay, this is when the super matches started to evolve into where we're at now, you might say. Um, when we were doing the match in Tahoe, it became time sensitive, so their match got scratched off the card. The next day, um, being that both people had some family members and flew down there just for that super match, I got with my partner. I said, "Look, let's just make this shit happen." We've all agreed upon what the rules are, and basically, rules off. It don't matter if you're hanging off the table, sitting on the floor, as long as you're on the winning side of the table, you won the match. So the King's move didn't even apply to that one. As long as they had their elbow in the circumference of the pad and part of their tricep touching, the match was going to continue. So that was probably the ugliest match that I've ever
Absolutely.
refereed. Oh my God. And I'm
Yeah,
still getting tarts feathered over
you
the
were
head.
shaking. You were shaking your
Oh
head.
my,
What the hell is this?
oh my
They were
God.
they
Well,
were looking at it. They were looking under the
yeah,
table at each other.
they were damn near bumping bellies with each other. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Are you
that
anticipating? Are you seeing a King's move from Lavonne at any stage? Are you expecting one?
I've never even give that a thought. I wouldn't expect one coming from Lavonne. I've never really seen him drop down in the King's move with what very little videos that I have seen him arm wrestling. But it'll apply to him too. No different than Devin. That humor starts going down in a declining position. Now let's look at that a little bit though, Ryan. Because if we're looking at declining, and let's say this is my body, this is declining. So if it's this is level, if it's like this just a little bit, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to stop the match or give them the foul. When it starts to decline, because there's certain parts of declining. So at what point do you say stop? But if I do see it to start to go down in this direction, we're going to stop the match and give them a foul.
For sure. And Skeptical's coming with a super chat right on that line. He asked, "Will you be strict with the King's move under the table?" And Bill's just answered that one there, Skeptical. But thank you very much for that super chat. We got another one from DCS Beamer. He says, "Hey Bill, any chance we can have a match between you and Bart Wood at King of the Table 5?"
Well, Bart's a tough dude, man. I'm gonna talk about Bart just a little bit. Bart's actually a pretty damn good referee. Um, it's just he's dealing with some really super ambiguous rules that doesn't do him any favors. No different than the KOT rules for me, some of them don't do any favors when people are looking at rigid set of rules. Now, I haven't competed. I haven't put my arm on the table for probably 5 years. But if Bart would want a super match, I would really have to tune up for him, because he's tough on the table too. But would I accept that match?
He's
Yeah,
training
but
with Dave Casey every week.
It would take me a little while to get prepared, but hell yeah, I'm game. Good reason to get back on the table.
Good stuff. Yeah, guys, we have been live for about 50 minutes now. We're going to put the last call out for questions for Bill. We're going to let him go very shortly, but so do send them through if you've got any last burning questions. Bill, what do you reckon? Is Devin Larratt secretly in the chat right now, or what? I haven't seen a comment from him, but do you reckon Devin's here?
Is Devin online, you said?
Yeah, I was. Do you think Devin is in the chat secretly watching this interview right now?
I can't see who your chat is. The only thing I can see is you and I right now. Hell, I don't know. Does he follow you, Ryan? Does he hate you like some of the other people?
I think he does. I reckon. And, I reckon. I just feel like any word you say right now, Bill, Devin is listening. He wants to know. He's writing every single word you say down so he can hold you to it when it comes to it.
Well, I tell you, I'm pretty brutally honest. I don't sugarcoat shit very much, but if Devin is listening, hey, good luck with probably the biggest match in your career, and I'm just going to try to proctor this match the way the rules are written, and I expect some stuff to come out of you, no different than the other matches, but it's how I handle it when it does. So, and I don't got nothing against Devin. He's one of the greats, without a doubt.
Absolutely. Super chat from Skeptical. He says, "Will a long setup happen again like it did with the John Brzenk match?"
Yeah, that was one of the other things. Like I say, when a referee's done with an event, or if he's done with a match, they either feel good or they feel like shit. That first match, and I again, brutally honest, I felt like shit after that first match, for the simple fact that I felt things could have been tighter. The whole objective was to see the drama and have the telling to the story. Now, it's definitely going to get shortened up, because there's nothing worse. Again, as I said before, arm wrestling is relatively boring unless you're an arm wrestler or you're totally engaged with it. And when you're looking at a long setup like that, we're going to lose the captive audience. So, the whole objective is to be able to control it, contain it, and not let it drag on like the first one with John and Devin.
Gotcha. Hey, I don't know what if a bunch of people in the chat are saying we got an echo. I do apologize. I'm not hearing an echo. Are you hearing an echo, Bill?
I did. I could hear. Well, it goes through my hearing aids, but not now. But when I was talking a few minutes ago, it was.
Okay. Well, we do apologize. Everyone's saying it's now fixed. Who knows? Good stuff. All good. But Bill, we might wrap this one up. Guys, thank you for joining us in the chat. Bill, best of luck this weekend, man. Like I said, I think you have the highest pressure job in arm wrestling on record. I don't think a referee's had to deal with as much pressure as you will be dealing with next weekend. So, look, we wish you all the best. We wish you a nice, fair fight. And for you, if you're happy at the end of the result, then that the right man's won, then we're going to be happy too as fans. So wish you the absolute best, and don't let these big gorillas get to you, eh?
No, right on. And getting back to what Uncle John has said about the rules in writing, that's one of the things I'll be addressing when I go back up there, is making the stuff transparent for the spectators. One of the things that I'm also going to suggest is before the starting of all these matches, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just have a scroll going up on the screen, just kind of outlining some of the rules, so the viewers could at least have an idea what's going on. So we're working on trying to make things bigger and better, and make it more friendly user for not only the referees, the pullers, and the spectators itself.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Good stuff, Bill. Once again, thank you for all you're doing for growing the sport, for being part of it. And we wish you well. We'll all be watching, and safe travels to Dubai as well. You head off Tuesday, is it?
Yeah. We fly out Tuesday. I fly out Tuesday. It's like a brutal 15 and a half hour flight. So,
Bill, you got nothing. You got nothing. You can't talk to an Aussie about long flights, all right? You can't talk to me about long. You can't complain about long flights to an Australian. For me to fly anywhere in the world, it's like 35 hours.
Yeah, it's brutal. Yeah, thanks.
All good. Right, you take care, Bill.
All right. Thanks, Ryan. Take care, buddy.
See ya.
And
I dropped you off there, Bill. What were you about to say?
No. I said no. I appreciate you reaching out to me on this, and appreciate all the questions. Hopefully, some of the questions was answered, and part of the interviewing is to kind of educate people on what we're trying to do here.
Absolutely, good stuff. All right, Bill. Thank you so much, and you take care.
Take care. See you guys.
There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Bill Collins, the head referee, king of the table 4. You can see the man is in control. He's good to go. He's not going to be pushed around by either of these two guys. Interesting stuff there when we talk about the rules and the summary there. It's king of the table 1 rules that he is going to be enforcing. Very interesting. Obviously, there were so many contract debates that happened between Devin and Lavonne. We saw it back and forth on social media in quite rich capacity. Devin really pushing the factor there via social media that there was an agreement in the contract, that there was rules established. And we heard from Bill Collins' mouth himself. He said that actually Lavonne said, I don't care what the rule sets are. Give me the match. I don't give a rat's ass, whatever. So it was his expression that it was just going to be fine. So Devin, keeping very close notes on what the rules were, will no doubt be expecting them to be followed through in that precedent that was set in King of the Table 1 to actually going to happen. It is going to be a dramatic weekend next weekend. It really is. It's going to be absolutely full on. I can't wait. I'm going to be doing a live commentary of it, guys. So make sure you don't miss it. We're going to be giving away 20 pay-per-view codes in the live stream prior to it. So don't miss that for your opportunity to grab one of those codes to the Core Sports pay-per-view. But it's going to be full on. Bill Collins there. Again, the refereeing, King of the Table 1, we're talking running fouls. We're talking auto strap. And when it comes to the grip, okay, it is a set grip. It is just going to be, so if they haven't been able to negotiate a grip, they are going to be placing webbing centered at the same height. They're going to say, close your thumbs, close your hands, go. This will be new territory for Lavonne Saganashvili. He has never arm wrestled under the conditions of running fouls or set grip like this. He has only been under rigid rules, PAL style rigid rules, WAF style rigid rules. Everything that he has ever participated in is rigid rules. So this will be very new territory for Lavonne. It has to be considered a factor. It really does. And the reason I say that is because when you are an athlete that is going and experiencing another set of rules for the first time, it is tricky. You feel out of water. Think Hermes Gasparini at the WAL. He was not happy, not settled, lost the match to Matt Mask. It happens all the time. Someone like Lavonne is going to be good enough to adjust, but he is taking a big risk by undertaking this match under these rules. Devin knows that. Devin will exploit that. Devin will push the bounds on all of these things to make sure that he gets it his way. My goodness, it's going to be interesting. Devin is going to be dangerous under these circumstances. He cannot be overlooked. Yes, Lavonne is the physical dominant athlete in this one. I don't think there's any questions. I asked the poll earlier, if your life depended on it, who are you backing in an arm wrestle? And the majority say Lavonne. Like it's there. People know that Lavonne is stronger, but with this set of rules, as we've just seen from Bill Collins, it is going to be possible for Devin to exploit things that Lavonne has never experienced before. And we can expect it. Bill did make mention that he is going to look to tighten things up. He wants it to be more tight, more strict than it was for the Devin Brzenk match. But will it actually happen? Will it happen? Will the tempers boil over? Will it all go crazy? Will there be fist fights? I doubt it. But will there be verbal fights? Will the interpreters need to get involved? Will it be pulled apart by Marcio Barboza and Kadecha as these guys are at each other? It's all going to be answered, those questions and more, next week, ladies and gentlemen. 25th of June, guys, please do get the pay-per-view. Core Sports, do not miss it, and make sure you watch the live coverage as well. If you want the community feel, if you want to keep the chat going, if you want to see the reaction, make sure you get the live stream up and running, because that's where it's all going to be. And guys, please do tune in for the premiere. 4 hours before pay-per-view Core Sports kicks off, the premiere will be running. If you're having a barbecue with your mates and you're arm wrestling, and you know that it's grand final day, it's Super Bowl day, it's the same sort of thing. We're going to have a coverage rolling from 4 hours out from the Core Sports pay-per-view. That coverage, put it on your big screen TV in the background whilst you're having your barbecue, whilst you're doing your thing, whilst you're hanging out with your mates, whilst you're taking bets with each other. Hang out like that, and that thing will cover everything, and it will inspire you. It'll be mega. There'll be a lot of good stuff in there. So don't miss that one. Make sure you hit that notification bell for the premiere. Get that running in the background. Skeptical wants to know how to get the promo codes. Thank you for the super chat. The way those promo codes are going to be. So when we go live in the pre-event show, which will be 2 hours before the Core Sports match and coverages kick off, the codes, I will have 20 codes written down on a piece of paper. 20 individual pieces of paper. And I will simply say, all right, guys, get your Core Sports websites up and running, ready to go. And I'm going to hold up a piece of paper. And on that piece of paper is going to be the code. So the person who puts the code in fastest into the Core Sports website and gets it done will be the winner. There's no more fair way to do it. I'm anticipating too many people in the chat for me to be able to sit there and just pick and choose and all that sort of stuff. But absolutely, I'll be holding up the codes, and the first person to get it done successfully will be the winner. So it's going to be hectic. It's going to be chaos. It's going to be full on, but it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. It is going to be amazing. So don't miss it. That is what we're going to be doing in the live stream itself. We're going to have Hollywood Matt Connolly from South Australia. He's going to be flying up to assist me with this coverage. Throughout the night, we're going to have Lachlan Adair coming in as well. He'll be there for intermittent opportunities to commentate, as well as the post-match show, and as well as Ethan Tunstall. He will be there as well. So it's going to be massive. Whilst we're live, I'm going to be getting as many significant legends of the sport on the phone for their opinion as we get closer and closer to the draw. I'll be getting... Look, I won't... I'll leave Devin alone. I'll leave Lavonne alone. But I might ring Jody Larrett. I might ring Neil Pickup. I might ring John Brzenk. I'm going to ring a whole bunch of people. So that live show is going to be a killer. You don't want to miss it. We're going to get a whole host of people involved in that, and it's going to be something special. It is the biggest match in history. It's happening next weekend. I can't believe it. It's going to be ridiculous. I've been losing my mind over it. Content on Devin Larrett and Lavonne Saganishvili for me on my channels across all my social medias. We've hit like 4 million views in the last 10 days across that. So the sport is getting a fantastic representation at the moment. If I could ask you all to do one thing, the best thing you could do for the sport right now is to go to your local pub, local nightclub, local wherever you hang out, and convince the dude there to go and buy the pay-per-view and put it on so everybody in that pub sees it. Okay, make this a big event. This could be our Muhammad Ali v. George Foreman moment. If Devin manages to pull it off like Ali did, oh my goodness. That would be huge for the sport. If Lavonne comes in and just says, get out of the way, crush everyone, and crushes the dreams of Devin Larrett and all the people hoping for the fairy tale story, to be honest, that's pretty badass too. That's what's coming. It's going to be massive. Core Sports will be ready for it. They are good to go. Only 7 sleeps to go, says Paul Barrett. I'm with you, brother. It's 3 a.m. for me here right now. I'm pretty much not sleeping this week at all. There's too much stuff going on. I don't know. It's crazy. But anyway, ladies and gents, I'm going to end it here. I do need to get some sleep. Even though I'm not tired, I'm just buzzed. I do need to force myself to go to sleep against my will so I can get up and do it all again tomorrow. But ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for tuning in. Please support everything you can. All the channels, Arm Wrestling, covering it well. Bill Collins, safe travels. Wish you the best. And ladies and gents, I'll see you again very soon. I'm out.